Hello, everyone. The cat decided to jump up here just as we went live. According to this thingy here, I am live, and I believe I have volume. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Hey, bud. Look, I just don't knock over anything here. That's my water. You have your own water. Hello, everyone. Who do we got here? Hello, Joe Fan and JLS Comics, and Sparkster and Michael Mitchell. How do you do? Hello to Rob Vegas and Firefly and Michael and Bart. Hey there. Testes, 1, 2. Hey, Matt. How do you do? It's nice to see Ryan here as well. So, good evening, everyone. Hello there, Andrew, the guy so nice they named him twice. Jumpin' General, and another Matt. How do you do? Hello, Chad. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. So many things to talk about. Hello, Chromius and Can Now. How do you do? So many things to talk about, and I even still need to. I've forgotten about. See, we were outside. We were out on the back patio last Tuesday. So I didn't even have this with me. So I'd missed out on a chance to open this guy. So we'll open this. We'll open this later in the show. Hello, Rob Arizari. Nice to see you here. Hello, Big Gay Dave. Hello, Beta Ray Bob and Nyquist and Bloody Card and David Andrews and another Matt. Hi there, Christian Bricks. Yes, we got to talk about Christian Bricks' his friend's discovery. Hi there, Kevin. Nice to see you, Kevin Maley. And Stonegate Creations. And I believe that... you're the same Matt. We've got multiple Matts. All right, the Matts are taking over. We'll be able to have a gym class. We'll have so many Matts. Hi there, Terrence. Nice to see you. So I got this that I can open later. But before that, I did check the PO box, and I have stuff from the PO box. A couple things. A letter and a box, so we will open that first. Priorities. Hello, B-Train, and hey, it's Codename New2Vero2. Nice to see you, Codename New2Vero2. So, and hello, Daredevil Dave, and From the Hilt. And the Photo Viper, how do you do? Nice to see you. I finally bit the bullet, and I got StreamYard, so I need to figure out how that works, and use it in the future, especially to have guests on for live streams. And Codename New2Vero2, I think, is going to be my first test subject. Not necessarily for a live stream, but for something planned for Cobra Convergence 7. So thank you, Codename New2Vero2, for being the guinea pig as I figure out how to work this thing. But it seems pretty intuitive. I think it'll be fine. Hello, Kilden. Hello, Rich. Hello, I think I said hello, Gray Fox either. The P.O. Box stuff is all Stargate. So it could be. I don't know. But you know what? I actually completed the Hasbro Stargate collection, the Hasbro movie line. I actually have all of it. And the variants. I have all the variants that I'm aware of. It didn't take long, and it wasn't expensive. The most expensive piece in that line is the Winged Glider, and the Winged Glider is a really cool vehicle. That's the star. That's the prestige item of the line. The rest is really quite common and inexpensive. So yeah, I just went ahead and finished it out. Finish it off. So I have all of them. Yes. Hello, Cyclonus. Anybody else has snuck in here? Yes, StreamYard is much simpler than OBS. I'm sure that it is. I have no doubt about that. So we're gonna give it a shot, and yeah, it does seem pretty intuitive, so I don't think it'll be a problem. But I have needed to upgrade, and have more guests on, and I need to conduct some interviews congruent to Cobra Convergence 7. yeah, I've got, it's time. It's well past time for me to move up to StreamYard, and codename New2 Vera 2 gets to be the test subject. So thank you again. Thank you again. Hello Lester. Hello Yo Joe. From the Hilt says I've entered the Stargate. I did, but I came back. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Josiah. Yo back to you. Hello, the Trek reviewer. How many songs had to be sung to finish off the Stargate collection? Not that many. It's not a small run, and you know, nobody wants me to sing anyway. So, you know, all I had to do was just open up the vocal cords, open up the windpipe there, and they just got thrown at me. It was very quick. Very easy. And legitimately, though, it's a really super easy toy line to collect. There are not very many items. Even if you add the variants, and there are at least a couple, even if you add the variants, though, it's still really easy to get. So I figured, you know, I already had most of it, so why not? Hello, G.I. Gary. Nice to see you. StreamYard has a quirk or two, but you get the hang of it quick. Yeah, that's what I assumed so. And that's one of the reasons why I hadn't changed. I hadn't switched from what I've been using, just because I know this, and I don't have to learn anything. I've done it. So doing anything new means I've got to learn something new. But it's time. Like I said, it's time. It's time. Rich says, just have to say how great the Cobra Commander video was. Thorough and informative, well discussed and well without being offensive. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. I'm really relieved that it did all right. I was concerned about. This is a good opportunity to talk about. The most recent video I did. A long, like, documentary, long form video essay style video about Cobra Commander, and it's of course I was obviously concerned about it, nobody watching it, because it is very different from what I usually do. So you know, it was a concern. So it's a relief. It's a relief that people have actually watched it. So yes, wipe the sweat off the brow. But the flip side of that is that it has been flagged for copyrighted content. So you will see ads on that video, but the ad revenue is not going to me. It's going to Hasbro. The Hasbro flagged a couple clips of the animation, and that's something that I could fight, and I feel confident that I would prevail in that. I feel like everything I used is squarely, you know, very comfortably within fair use. And I could challenge that, but I'm not sure it's worth challenging. So I'm not getting any ad revenue from that. So that's kind of it was expected. I can't complain, because I knew I was going to have to use a lot of clips, and sometimes longer clips, to make this work. So I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. So I can't complain. But it's just, I don't know that it's something, that's a good question, Bart. It's a good question, but, you know, I'm going to save that, because we had a bit of a copyright discussion last week. We could go into that some more. And it is an interesting topic. There are some misconceptions about copyright, but there are also some things that are kind of generally believed about copyright that are pretty close to true. So it's fun, but we already discussed copyright a lot, so I don't want to go too much into it. All I want to say is that the revenue is not going to me. I wish I could just take ads off of it, but I can't do that. It will run the ads. And it will, the ad revenue will go to the copyright holder, even though I don't think they're entitled to it. But Thank you for being here, Cyclonist. Have fun at work. Good luck. Yeah, it's a little. Again, I don't want to complain. I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. But I wanted to. That's the video that I wanted to make, more or less. It's a long video. It's a video that I should have done over a couple months and planned out really thoroughly and got, all of the assets together, but I didn't have that much time. I put the whole thing together in a week. I really did put that thing together within since the previous video. So I did the Mutt and Junkyard video, and then I started working on that one, and then it was done in time for early access for patrons. Firefly says, do you know if it was flagged by an algorithm or by a person? It was the algorithm. It's content ID. They're just checking it as soon as it's uploaded. Before it's even public, it'll flag it. So content ID is all it does is find matches. Okay, it can't look at the context and see if that use is an infringement or not. It just looks for matches. And I knew that was going to be an issue. So again, I'm not complaining about it. It is what it is. Truck Reviewer asks about what I think about the recreated Enterprise D bridge on the last episode of Picard. I haven't seen it yet. I will be happy to give you an assessment after I've seen it. I have because I've been trying to get this video done in a fairly short amount of time. I haven't done a lot other than that up to the point that it was done. So it's been a little bit active lately, quite busy. So but it's done, right? It's done. I do kind of wish I had given myself more time to work on it. Hello, Rob Vegas. Nice to see you. He says good day from sunny Melbourne. Good day from the United States. Thank you for being here. And Sergeant Slaughterhouse. Nice to see you as well. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I wish I had given myself more time to work on it, but it's a project that should have gone over maybe a couple months. But if I had taken a couple months to work on it, would it have been better? And I think yes, a little bit. It would have been a little bit better, but not 2 months worth of work better. And it would have been 95% the same. And I think the only things that would have changed were there are a few examples in there that I wanted to that I would have liked to have thrown in. But I just didn't have time to get the assets that I needed to put them in. I think that I got the point across, but there were other things that I could have included if I had more time. And so but it would have been 95% the same. So yeah, I could have worked on it for a couple months. That certainly would have been easier on me. But would it have improved the video? I think it would have been almost exactly the same as the one that you got. So, hello Woodman29 there. How do you do? Hello Raymond Sheffield. I frankly was not on the pooper. I was here. Oh, you're saying you were. You were. Well, that's okay. That's everybody does it. Another concern that I had, of course, was that in discussing Cobra Commander, at least for the video that I wanted to make, I did not have any intention, it never even was an option, to skip the political part of it, because it's there. I mean, it's in the text and the subtext. So ignoring that was not going to be an option if I was going to make a video like that. So there was also a concern about it being demonetized because it has a lot of Nazi shit in it. So, that's frowned upon. That's difficult to pull off in a way that doesn't scare off advertisers. But the thing is, that's what it is. And I didn't want to do this YouTube content creator thing where you talk about a subject, but you avoid certain words that can, maybe flag you for demonetization, or maybe be a topic that's too hot for advertisers. I understand why people do it, but I just don't believe in that. If we're going to have a discussion about a serious topic and a difficult topic, then we're going to use the words. We're going to use the actual words for what they are, and we're not going to dance around it. We're not going to use metaphors. If we're talking about fascism, we're going to talk about fascism, and we're going to say that word. So that was a concern. Another concern is, like, people don't like for you to talk about politics in general, and I understand it makes people uncomfortable, and while I sympathize, I still didn't feel that ignoring that part of the subject was appropriate. So of course I was concerned about hostility. And which, by the way, if you're watching a video that's describing the traits of fascists, and you recognize stuff about that in yourself, and you feel attacked by that, that is something you should absolutely look into in yourself. I would, if I were watching something like that and I saw, wow, he seems to be talking about me, I would be a little upset. I would want to take a long look in the mirror. So for anybody who did feel attacked, okay. But at any rate, I wanted to address it the way that I saw it and use the terminology as it should be used, at least as close as I could. To say that it's more complex than what you can condense into, a 56-minute video is an understatement. All of these political ideologies have lots of facets and lots of justifications and arguments around them, and then historical data and examples, but I can't put all of that in one video about Cobra Commander. So I tried to limit it to just what needed to be said and what I needed to say in order to get the point across. So thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really wanted to do something that would at least just get the thoughts that I've had about it, onto into a format that I could express it. So we've done that, and it didn't tank. So thank you. I got a new patron out of it, so again, thank you. I got a few additional subscribers out of it, again, thank you. I'm not getting any revenue out of it, it kind of sucks because I am dependent on that at the moment. So that it wasn't the most wise financial decision that I've ever made, but sometimes you gotta do things the right way, even if it isn't profitable. So that's what we did, and there we go. There we go. Thank you to Non-Ref Productions for the super chat to help the lost ad. Thank you. That's actually incredibly kind. Non-Ref Productions, that about makes up for it in just one super chat. I am I am humbled, and I thank you. I appreciate it. And I promise I wasn't asking for money, and I'm certainly not trying to get sympathy. I knew that it was going to be an issue before I put it up there. I knew that was going to be an issue, and I accepted that. But that helps a lot. Thank you very much for the super chat, and thanks to everyone who actually watched it and is still here and still around and didn't just walk away because of a video that's very different from what I usually do. Thank you, JM Beretta. Thank you very much, and thank you, Rob. And hey there, Ratface. Nice to see you, Ratface. Yes, I am Josiah by choice. I am by choice. It's a long story. We won't go into it, but yes, by choice. I got you, Keldon. Absolutely. And thank you again for the super chat. Thank you, Josiah and Keldon. You guys are really fantastic help. I can't even tell you how much. But you guys have kept me going. You really have. It's been a very complicated couple of years, but we've got through it, and we're still working on it. We're still chugging. So how are we doing on time? So I wanted to talk about the most recent video. I wanted to get that out there. I want to talk about Cobra Convergence 7, but I want to save that for like the last half of the video. It's Tuesday. I want to remind everybody, one, there's a new episode of Half the Battle. Timmer looks at a contest in Belgium that gave away G.I. Joe Defiant space shuttles of the Defiant Complex. Really interesting. Also, What's on Joe Mind is coming after this. So I will not go over so that you can go directly over to What's on Joe Mind after this live stream is over, so you can catch theirs. Normally, I get the links for both Timmer and for What's on Joe Mind and put it in the description, but I was a little pinched for time. But you know where they are. So check out Timmer. Check out What's on Joe Mind. Thank you, Gray Fox, for the super chat. Thank you also, Bubble Wrap Memories, for the super chat. Can't watch the top, but really wanted to help you going. Thank you. Thank you very much. It means a lot, and it helps a lot. It helps more than I can tell you. It really does. It really does. And thank you, Josiah. Are you doing a GoFundMe for Joe Fest this year? I'm trying not to. I'm trying to. The problem is I feel guilty when I ask for money from people. Asking people to join Patreon it's one thing. I mean, that's difficult enough. To ask people to part with their hard-earned money. I can at least give something a little extra for Patreon. But it's difficult for me to ask. I just don't like to ask. It makes me feel guilty. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Even when it would really help, it's still... For example, when I took a Route 66 road trip with my daughter last summer, and I had put together a plan by which I would pick up souvenirs for people who wanted to support me on the trip. And after I even... proposed that, I reeled it back in because I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to ask people for that. So I'm trying not to do a GoFundMe. But I should still be there. The hotel is booked. Everything's booked. We're going. So we should be there, and I hope to see everybody. And I want to talk more about that. I want to talk more about that as we get closer because I'm hoping to see a lot of you guys there. And we'll get together. We'll do some fun stuff. It's going to be a great time. And thank you, Bubble Wrap Memories. I thank you. I hope Larry would like it. I really tried to stick to the facts and to have direct sources for anything that that I put in that he said. A lot of it's fairly common knowledge, but I want to, when you're speaking for somebody else or you're using their words, you want to be careful about it. So I really tried to be accurate when quoting Larry or Buzz or anybody else. So hopefully it's acceptable. I hope so. But at any rate, before we go on, I want to talk quite a bit about Cobra Conversion 7 because there's been a lot of development. We're getting closer. Before we do that, though, before I'm a stand-up journalist, that's good. Before we do that, though, I've got these from the P.O. Box. I've got a letter, and I've got this box from, I believe, the same person who sent the boxes previously. It says, open this end. So I have opened this end. I don't know what's in it yet. In fact, it's covered up. But we'll check and see what that is. But I've got a letter. I'm going to go ahead and do this because I want to show my appreciation to folks who sent stuff. Thank you, Josiah. I think your fans are okay with a GoFundMe. Would like a road trip video. Yeah, maybe so. It's getting kind of late in the game to start one, but I will. I'll consider it. I will. Thank you, Joe Fan, for the super chat. Mr. S says hi. Hello, Mr. S. Nice to see you. According to your remote map last year, you came right through my town. Feel free to stop by to rest if you like. I may do that. Marianne should be going with me. That's the plan. Oh, thank you, Ryan Sweeney. Gas money for Joe Fest. I will need it. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you for your long support. Ryan Sweeney's been a supporter for quite a long time, and I appreciate it. But again, hello, Mr. S. Always happy that you're here, very much so. It's Cujo. How's Cujo doing? Nice to see you, Cujo. Wow, that gang is all here. We're having a good crowd. We got a good crowd tonight. That's awesome. So now, before any adieu, thank you, Paul. I do appreciate it, and people do seem to want to support, and that means a lot to me. It's something internal in me that it gets triggered when I receive something that I feel like, what have I done? Did I make somebody feel bad for me? And it's a whole cycle. I need help is what it amounts to. I need and I am in fact getting professional help. I'm working on it. Hello, Todd. Thanks for doing that. Did any multi-level marketing enthusiasts get offended by Cobra Commander video? I can only hope so. Sometimes it's okay for a certain segment to get offended. If you're not offending a certain segment, then you might not be doing something right. So maybe some MLM folks did get a little butt hurt. We can only hope. Thank you, Sergeant Slaughterhouse, for the super chat. Who would have an issue with a GoFundMe? Sergeant Slaughterhouse has a GoFundMe. So this is what I'm talking about. I should have grabbed the links before I started the show. And hey, it's been a while since I have shared the GoFundMe. I hope that's going well. I'll make it a point to look that up, and perhaps you can remind me to share that, because I would like to meet Mr. Slaughterhouse. Is that your real name, Mr. Slaughterhouse? Hey, it's Marianne. Marianne's came in on the mention of a road trip video. Yes. See, that's what the public is clamoring for. Hey, it's White Vegeta. Speaking of somebody that I met at Joe Fest, nice to see you, White Vegeta. How do you do? And thank you, Robert. I will try to keep that in mind. Thank you, Chad. Thank you very much, Chad. Who would have a problem with a GoFundMe Zazel? Yeah. But Zazel, Mr. Slaughterhouse, he needs to make it. He has farther to go. He has to basically go like halfway around the planet. There's no reason to go to more than halfway around the planet, because if you go more than halfway around the planet, you're headed back. So not quite halfway around the planet, but nearly. And it's nice, and hello, Marianne, it's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I enjoyed the time that I've spent with you recently, and I hope to see you again very soon. Nice to see you here in our discussion. Thank you for the super chat. What's on Joe Mine? Where the hell are the singing cats? He was just here. He's actually taken a nap up on the top of this thing here, on these shelves. He likes to get up there. He's a cat. He likes to get in high places. Not singing at the moment unless you count snoring. But you know what? It's peaceful in here. He's not knocking anything over, so we'll take it. But anyway, so hello Exploriso. Yeah, I love Route 66. I do. I haven't done the whole trip, but that's a bucket list thing, is to do a full Route 66 trip. Chocolates, donuts, and grape soda. I actually do have chocolate donuts. I just don't have any grape soda. Marianne says she'd be down for a road trip video. Yeah, I think that would really do a great job of memorializing the experience of Joe Fest. So anyway, but okay, before we go any further, I want to make sure I have plenty of time to talk about Cobra Convergence, so I'm going to open. First, I'm opening this letter. I didn't black out that address because it's my own address. But the sender's address is on the back, and I did black that out. So I am opening it with a knife, which I should have done before I started the live stream. I do usually open the mail before I start live because I'd really like to not cut myself live on a live stream and bleed out in front of you all. I'm trying not to. Yes. 237 super chat. Yeah. Okay. This is a letter, and this is from Gary. I don't know if Gary wants me to use his last name or not, and I also don't know if he wants me to read this aloud or not. So I'm going to read this quietly to myself for a moment, because I don't want to read aloud anybody's personal information without reading through it first. So I'll just do that real quick. It's let's see, a talk amongst yourself from. Oh, thank you. Hey, Comic Tropes, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Peace and love. Live long and prosper. Thank you for the super chat. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing all right. I know that you're gonna maybe not be able to make it for the live show this time, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Let me review this real quick. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just reading. Okay. No problem. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Bear with me. It's just one page front back, but it's a little bit long. I'm just making sure that I get through it all. Yeah. Okay, so this is it's a letter. It's about some of the recent reviews that I did, and thank you very much. Thank you, Gary, for the letter. I do keep all of these letters. He makes some points about Hawk from my Hawk review. So Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say that I agree. You know, I could do a video about Hawk about is equal to what I did about Cobra Commander. There's a lot to say about Hawk. There's a lot to say about Hawk. Yes, Comic Tropes at the hospital getting a scan. Well, thank you for allowing us to be your entertainment while scanning. Yes, we always we all wish the best for you, and I will be touching base with you to make sure you're all right. I hope you're well. But thank you very much for the letter, Gary. I do keep all of these letters. If it doesn't explicitly say it's okay to read on the air, I usually don't. But I give you kind of an idea of what it says. But he has some comments about some of my recent reviews, especially Hawk. And I think that his points are quite interesting. So thank you, Gary. Thank you for writing. Now, I want to open this, which is from, I think this is from Diosoth, I believe, because the address, which is not on here anymore. Dave E. says, wish you a speedy recovery, Comic Tropes. First of all, thank you for the super chat, Dave. And second of all, absolutely, Comic Tropes has been a very dear friend for now a number of years, for quite a while. And we always, want Comic Tropes, want Chris to be doing well. So absolutely, feel better, get scanned. I hope they don't find any anomalies, no cloaked Klingon vessels in there. But we do wish you absolutely the best. Absolutely. Now I will open this. It says to open at this end, so I did. And it has a letter. And it says public letter. So this is what I mean. This says public letter, so I can read this. And it is from Diosoth. Thank you, Diosoth. Thank you very much. It says, greetings, HC788. Thank you. Greetings back. Last month had some very large packages, but nothing G.I. Joe. This package fixes that. Nothing to fix. I appreciate all of it. Also included is a gun for the DX9 carry I sent you last year. Okay, all right. I know which one you're talking about. Please, plus another toy you may like, and one for your daughter. Okay, thank you, Diosoth, for this. Again, I keep all of those letters. So there's something G.I. Joe in here. What's in the box? Let's see. Let's see what's in the box. There is packing material. There is packing material. Well packed. Always well packed. Always well packed, sir. Okay, we have... I'm getting. Look, is this one the one for me, or is this the one for Audrey? I may keep it. It's blue. I like blue. And just because I'm a man doesn't mean I don't like fuzzy, soft things. So we'll see. Maybe Audrey will get it, but it's awfully cuddly, so I may want to keep it. Let's see. We got more packing material. And hey, check. Whoa, dude. So yeah, this is hold on. It's a He-Man, and I can't say what series it's from because I'm not well versed in He-Man action figures. But there he is. Thank you, Dave, for the super chat. New Cobra Commander video is fantastic. Thank you very much, and you are fantastic, sir. Yes, you are. Thank you very much. Thank you. Obviously they copied my physique for this. They really should have got my permission before using my likeness for this figure. But it's fine. It's well enough sculpted and you take the Tiger Force Outback head off and put it on this body, and you basically have an action figure of me. This is the true selfie figure. This is the true selfie figure. So thank you for that. So let's see what else we've got in here. It's well packed. It is well packed. And here's the G.I. Joe thing. Cool. Cool. So this, it's got some pieces in here, and I don't want to lose them, but check that out. This is the modern retro O-ring Duke from the retro series, with all the languages on the file card on the back. This is intriguing. I have a couple of the retro O-ring figures, but I did not have Duke. Thank you very much for this. This is awesome. And they did a retro Cobra Commander as well, which I mean, I have the one that came with the Sky Striker, but I don't have the other one. So that's awesome. That's really cool. And in addition to that, there are some things in here that appear to be from the well, no, this looks vintage. That looks like a vintage Duke backpack. And then we've got a couple things that I believe are from the retro 4-inch, modern one, which includes the binoculars and well, that's not a modern figure stand. So these must go to the O-ring, because it has the pegs for the for this size figure. But at any rate, so this is cool. And I'll next week I will open this before I open Gung Ho. So I think I'll open this and share it with everyone before I open, and then I'll open Gung Ho. But before we do either of those things, first of all, thank you, Diosoft. Thank you for your Diosoft. Thank you for your support. Your support has been very much appreciated. Thank you to everyone who sends stuff. But thank you to those who don't send anything either. You of course you do not need to send anything. I appreciate you just being here. We've been doing this for a long time now. Oh, hey, it is Hans. Hi, Hans. Hi, Hans. How are you? Nice to see you. It's always nice to see Hans in here. A pleasant good evening to you as well. Hey, and it's Peg Warmers. Wow, it is an all-star cast in here this evening. Hello, WWG8085. Thank you very much for being here. I would like to spend the last about 20 minutes of this video talking about Cobra Convergence 7 because we made some progress. Yeah, we'll get, hey, trust me. People who have to say trust me probably shouldn't be trusted, except for me. Look at this face. Isn't this the most honest face you've ever seen? Honest as the day is long. Trust me. We'll get to him. We'll get to him. I winked with the wrong eye. Anyway, Cobra Convergence 7. Oren Pack says hi from Tony in Kentucky. Hello, Kentucky from the United States. Thanks for being here. Thank you very much for being here. I want to talk. Okay, so for those, I think most of you are in the know and know what Cobra Convergence is. Cobra Convergence is the annual collaborative fan event that we do. Comic Trove says the hospital is right next to Walmart. Dare I check it for G.I. Joe? You know what? Yes. I think you should. Because no matter how it turns out, if you find something, it'll still make you feel at least a little better. I think that's an excellent idea. So yeah, we've been doing this for a few years now. We skipped 1 year, but Timmer actually kept it alive. Timmer did an event in the gap year when I wasn't around. So thank you, Timmer, for keeping the spirit alive. I'm very grateful about that. But we're in the 7th organized year of Cobra Convergence, and we have almost, we have a roster, but it's not, I don't think it's quite set in stone yet. What I would like to, one thing that I always regret after every event, every year, is that there's always somebody that should have been brought in, that should have been invited, but for whatever reason, I overlooked that person, somebody who's in the G.I. Joe fan community, somebody who's doing something creative, who's doing something to contribute, and who should be a featured presenter, and I whiff on it. And every year, I'm like, okay, next year, I'm going to make sure that person is in. But I'm trying to not do that. So I've tried to invite everyone that I know wanted to be in, but if you are listening to me, if you're within the sound of my voice, and you are a G.I. Joe fan creator, thank you, Dave. Cobra Toxo Lab review for Cobra Convergence 7. Intriguing idea. Intriguing idea. Intriguing idea. I'm sorry. I know I'm getting sidetracked, but the Toxo Lab sparks some ideas. Like, I don't know if I'll do it for Cobra Convergence 7, but I'll definitely do it at some point, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I really do. If you are someone who was expecting to be invited to Cobra Convergence 7, or wanted to be, or should be because you are, active and contributing something and would like to be involved, please send me a private message on one of the social medias, or, to my email address, and just ping me, because I am trying my best to avoid missing somebody who really ought to be included. Awesome. Comic Tropes says he got his costume for so that he can participate. Yes, I gotta. That's gonna be special. That'll be special. That'll be special. But yeah, I don't want to leave out anybody who expects to be in, who wants to be in, who should be in. And by the way, I'm asking for people to contact me if they want to be in. You can always make suggestions for other people that you think ought to be invited, but if there are names that you think of people who you think we ought to invite, that may have been somebody who has already been asked, or didn't get back, or declined, or whatever. And I don't want to like put out a list of people who chose not to be in. I don't want any like judgments to be passed on anybody for not participating. It's a voluntary thing. It's a totally voluntary thing. So I'm not going to say, I won't say, hey, it's a nice idea, but this person didn't want to do it. But if you would like to suggest your own content, your own presence, YouTube channel, podcast, whatever you do that's out there it's in the public, you have a brand and a presence, and you're creating something related to G.I. Joe. You can do anything for Convergence Right at all. Hans asks, you can do anything for Convergence Right, anything at all. Well, within reason, of course, we try to make it Cobra related, but that can be stretched. Cobra is connected with the G.I. Joe universe in many ways. So it's Cobra, but it doesn't necessarily have to be all Cobra. You know what I'm saying? People have been very creative about how to present something for Cobra Convergence, but has a broader reach outside of Cobra in the G.I. Joe universe. We will have a theme. We'll announce that at some point in the future. We do have a theme. Participants can stick to the theme or not. That is also voluntary. Hans says animation. Don't do the moving thing, not anymore at least. So like submitting animation, I guess, sure. What if you're a writer and one of your characters is a collector? Because you know I can make that happen. Thank you, Marianne. I don't know who you would base that on. That would be a challenge. It's really nice to see Marianne in here. It's really lovely to see you. Thank you for being here. It's very, very, very nice. Well, I'll hit you up. We'll talk after this is over. I've missed you. I really have. But yeah, the theme. We will release a theme, but first of all, the theme can be interpreted in many surprisingly different ways, and you don't have to stick to the theme if that's not what you want to do. We want the theme to spark creativity, not be a hindrance for something somebody wants to do. So I want you to write a theme. Who asked about the Toymaster? WWJD85 says, will a Toymaster make an appearance? You know, the Toymaster, that was my friend Landon, and he was a really good sport. A really good sport playing the Toymaster for those episodes. If creatively it felt like the right thing to do, I'm sure he would do it again. Thank you. I know Landon's not watching right now, but thank you. I can send him a message and say thanks again. Need to practice your aim. Yes, I'll work on that. I'll take a few extra shots. You know, I'll zero in on it. Thank you for the super chat, Josiah. Will you have free time? While you have free time, would love to see a GoFundMe for a road trip video from Toy Base 10 to Toyman Show to Kokomo Toys to visit the Irizarry house. That's I have not been to Kokomo Toys. I know that I need to go. Yes, the fans want to see a road. They are demanding a road trip, and you know what? I really, really love to travel. That is a fact, and I have not been able to travel very much, really any this year. Last year, I took like three. I took 3 long trips. That was awesome. The year before that, I think I had two long trips. That was awesome. This year, I haven't yet. And yeah, I agree. I think it's time for a road trip video. I will strongly consider doing a GoFundMe. I wasn't going to. I do admit it would help, but Marianne and I will discuss it. We'll have a deep, philosophical discussion about it, and I'll see if I can do that. I will sincerely think about it. Marianne's always down for a road trip. Yeah, and Marianne is a fun travel partner, so that I would be down for that too. And I think it would have to be, both of us. We'd have to both go. Somebody's got to operate the camera and be in charge. Somebody's got to be the director. All right, I am the boss and the TV star. But somebody's got to be the director, in other words, the real boss. So that's it. I think we would have to go together. We would have to go together. Yes. Just briefly refocusing on Cobra Convergence 7. There should be a teaser video at some point in the near future. The roster of participants should go up a little bit after that. But I'm trying not to miss anybody. So if there's anybody that I should have invited and didn't, first of all, I take responsibility for that. It is my fault if I forgot. I apologize. But I am I've reached out on the social medias. I posted on the social medias, and I'm saying it here. If I've missed you, and especially if it's something that you've done before, if you've been a previous participant, and or if it's something that we've talked about and I neglected to reach out to you, please reach out to me, because I do not want to leave behind anybody who shouldn't be left behind. So please do, that, I think that's the main thing I wanted to say about Cobra Convergence 7. There's a lot more. There's a lot more coming up. We are really trying to put this together and make it a good one. I've been slow for a lot of reasons. I've been slow. I really ought to be further along than I am. Oh, hello, JK Siege. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. I do remember unboxing the 12-inch Destro. I do that very much. Hey, Dave Brown. Nice to see you, Dave Brown. Thank you for being here. Benny says we got the Joe Show in June in SoCal. I've seen that advertised. I'd love to go to that too. It's actually been a really long time since I've been to Southern California. And I'd love to go back. Man, it's been a long time since I've been to Southern California. I like Southern California. I would go to that if I could. I don't know if I can make it to that one. However, I am thinking of going to the DFW G.I. Joe and Toy Show that is in June, and I think it's after we get back from Joe Fest. Ron Rudat is supposed to be there, and I would like to see Ron. And I believe Pixel Dan is going to be there. And I missed the opportunity to say hello to Pixel Dan when JoeCon was in Springfield, Illinois, where he lives, and he was there, and I just totally whiffed on the idea of actually, meeting him and saying hi. I didn't think of it. It was very crowded, but I could have found him. And I could have said hi, but I'm thinking very seriously. Hopefully, Marianne will go with me. We've talked about that already. I already asked her if she's busy that weekend. But the DFW show, I'm seriously going to try to make that. I'd really love to see Ron again, and it seems like Ron is not going to be at Joe Fest. So if he's not going to be there, maybe I can at least go and see him in the Dallas area. Pegwarmer says Pixel Dan is a super nice guy. That's what I've heard. I've heard really nothing good, nothing but good. Oh, wow, that's a way to start a rumor. I've heard nothing good about Pixel Dan. No, the opposite. I've heard nothing but good about Pixel Dan. And I'd love to, I believe it was the 24th. That's right, Marianne. I believe it was the 24th. I just... like Marianne says, she's always down for a road trip. I'm always down for a road trip. I just need the opportunity and the time and the other things you need for a road trip. But I love taking road trips. So yeah, that would be pretty cool. Comatrope says let's drive to Denver someday. I like Denver too. And it's been even longer since I've been to Denver. Joe Con was in Loveland, Colorado, which is, if I recall correctly, a little bit north of Denver. So when I went there, I went near Denver, but not actually to Denver. I have been to Denver, but it's been a very long time. I like Denver too. Let's plan to do that. We got 5 minutes. I do not want to go over time. Because What's on Joe Mind has their show going, starting here in about 4 minutes now. So I'm not going to go over time. Everybody can roll on over to What's on Joe Mind. Jeff says HCC and Pixel Dan beef incoming. That's right. That's like cue the controversy, cue the outrage. Headline: Hooded Cobra Commander insults Pixel Dan, says nothing good about him. Not true. See, this is how rumors get started. Pixel Dan, by all accounts, seems like a really, really cool guy. Yes, Grapevine, Texas Convention Center, Chad is correct. Yes, he is. In fact, I looked that up a little while ago just to make sure that I was correct about the dates and all of that. Yeah, I'd like to go see Ron Rudat. I'd like to get another print from him. I'm getting a collection now of Ron Rudat art prints. So I'll add something to the collection. Season of the beef. But yeah, Bart Steelers from Pittsburgh. Maybe you'll something about the Steelers. Yes, Bart is from Pittsburgh, and I got no problem with the Steelers. G.I. Joe Steeler, of course. The second highest ranking officer in 1982. But I got no problem with the Steelers. Steelers have had a good team for a long time. Christian Bricks. Oh my gosh, I didn't talk about that. So Christian's friend found somehow a rare Zap head, 1982 Zap head, but with the mustache. Now these Zap heads are extremely rare. They are genuine. It's not a custom. It's in about 1984, Hasbro was considering re-releasing the 1982 figures, but since in 1982 they reused a bunch of heads, they were thinking of doing new head sculpts, and Zap was going to have a mustache. They ended up not doing that. They didn't produce that line, but they did make a few sales samples that they were discovered just a few years ago. A few carded examples, including a new head of Breaker, a new head of Short Fuse, and a new head of Zap. New head sculpts, individual head sculpts. But here's one, a Zap head. It is from one of those, it's got to be from one of those sales samples. It's not a custom, but it's a mustache Zap head. But it's in Denmark for some reason. How did it get there? I have no idea. This has a story behind it, and I would like to know what it is. This warrants further investigation, which we shall. I will dispatch our reporter on the scene. But for now, thank you for reminding me, Christian Bricks. I am so sorry. I almost missed that extremely important topic. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. I showed that to Marianne. She was sitting right next to me. It's like, look at this. And she's like, he's got a mustache. And like, yes, I know. But for us, it's a big deal. But for now though, yeah, that's right. The Short Fuse head did not have glasses. That's kind of a surprise. If he had glasses, he would have matched his comic book appearance. But they didn't go that way. But for now, it is. It's 8 o'clock by my time. I've got to wrap up. What's on Joe Mind is probably already started, so I'm gonna let you guys roll over there and watch What's on Joe Mind. I will see you all next week. I am taking the week off for doing a regular review, but I'll get started on next week's review, and I will catch you all later. So thanks for watching.